Hello everyone, Joseph Wagner here with another edition of the Bitcoin Minute. It's been nearly 1 year since we've made any releases, but in the near future I tend to make videos regularly, if not once a month, once a week. So what were we talking about 11 months ago? I want to play you a little clip from our last edition. Let's roll the footage. Interestingly enough, our last video was released May 11th, 2022, exactly 1 year from today. And what is also quite interesting is pricing is right around where it was a year ago, less than $2,000 away from where it is now.
The current support at $29,000. I am saying that when we do breach it, it is going to represent a lot of energy getting released to the downside. We will soonly thereafter see a visit to minimal $18,000, possibly even lower. I don't think we'll ever see prices below $10,000. I definitely think that $17,900 is our target over the next 6 months to a year.
So I was calling for $17,900 exactly 1 year ago, and we came pretty close to that, hitting a low of approximately $16,000. Where do I think Bitcoin's going to go in the next 6 to 12 months? The short answer, up, way up. However, that's not the case. If you're to believe the pundits at the fake news factory, listen to some of the FUD they are spreading over on Twitter.
Whale Wire on Twitter. The US government just sold 9.8K of hashtag Bitcoin worth $277 million, causing the prices to plunge.
In the latest session in New York, we saw Bitcoin drop about 5%. Again, as mentioned, it was in a matter of minutes, and there was a lot of talk about perhaps speculation, the government moving some assets around, a lot of concerns about liquidity and regulatory issues.
So it wasn't just Twitter, but also mainstream media that cashed in on this reported on-chain development. So I decided to do some digging for myself. As you can see, this is the original tweet, and if you look at the image provided, he is saying that this address right here is connected to the US government somehow. Now let me disprove that very quickly. It only takes a second. All I have to do is go to a block explorer and boom. This is that address. You can go back a second to verify it. This is exactly the address that was claimed, and it has not received or sent any Bitcoin ever. So that being a dead end, I decided to go back to the original place where I saw this tweet, which was this website, thebitcoinist.com. And if you scroll down here, they also have that same image of the blockchain explorer and this address right here. And I looked at some of their evidence at the bottom here, a court filing, which is a PDF of an indictment submitted on March 31st, 2023. Now, I read through this entire thing, but I won't put you through that. Upon further examination of this docket, there was only one piece of information that mentioned the government selling Bitcoin, which is right here highlighted, and it states that on March 14th, 2023, the government did sell 9,861 Bitcoin, and that they still had approximately 41,000 Bitcoin left to sell that they intended to do over 4 more batches over the course of this calendar year. This Bitcoin that they're talking about has nothing to do with the Bitcoin that the on-chain data is citing. Now, going back to the transactions from the tweet, you can see that the amounts bought and sold are very close to the amounts that the US government had said they had sold, and 3 weeks ago was around the same date that the US government did sell around 9,000 BTC. However, this address actually bought Bitcoin 3 weeks ago, didn't sell it. And furthermore, when we take a look at this amount and compare it to the amount in the docket, it's actually slightly different. And don't pay attention to these labels, because Arkham Research actually allows users to make their own labels. So these may not be official labels, and I'm betting that they are not. So should traders be worried about the US government liquidating the rest of their Bitcoin holdings as stated in that docket? Well, I don't think so. And here's why. Going back to the actual date when they sold their 9,000 Bitcoin, this occurred on March 14th. And when we look back at the action on that day, you can see that we actually gained value on the day. We did have a large upper wick, but other than that, it doesn't seem as though the liquidation of 9,000 Bitcoin had any sizable action on the market. Now on to our forecast for the month of May. We have to acknowledge that 5 out of the last 6 trading days did result in lower lows, and a lot of analysts are calling for a retest of 25,000. We can see why some analysts may think that, because it has acted as resistance several times in the recent history, as well as support on this day right here. However, I don't think a retracement back to 25,000 is absolutely necessary. I believe 27,000 may actually hold. And for the month of May, I'm looking at pricing to close out above $30,000 by the end of the month. This has been Joey Wagner. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.